All for joining me. I am really pleased to be talking with you about Microsoft 365, especially around driving adoption of Microsoft 365. So thank you for helping me do some research to prep for this session. So just for everybody watching, can you introduce yourself and tell us where you are currently located and tell us where you work and what you do there?
Sure, my name's Paul Warren. I work at Auckland Council in Auckland, New Zealand. And I'm in their end user compute team, and I'm driving the modern workplace adoption at Auckland Council.
Awesome. So we've had a nice Twitter conversation, which led us to this point. And you mentioned that you were part of a big transformation at Auckland Council. So can you tell us a little bit about what that transformation entailed?
Sure. We're working on, like most organisations, moving from Windows 7 to Windows 10. But we're also wanting to bring in the modern workplace element of Windows 10, not do the traditional corporate upgrade and have it all locked down. We want to push forward with a more of a consumer experience, but enterprise secure environment, and just freeing up the user to essentially do their work in the way they feel most comfortable.
And was there a specific driver to that? Or did it come from up top or from the users themselves?
I'd say a bit of both. Our head of IT wasn't always happy with how the desktop looked at the time in terms of how it performed. So he was very, very keen to improve that. The users as well also wanted a better experience. Listening to our users and listening to our boss also helped drive us in this direction.
Okay. And did you have an idea in terms of what the critical success factors were going to be as part of this transformation?
I guess first off, keeping the boss happy.
That's always a big one, generally speaking.
User satisfaction, but also keeping all the stakeholders happy, keeping our security team happy, making sure we're secure. We're a government organisation. We can't just have things leaking out everywhere, but also to provide a really amazing experience for our user base.
Yeah. And did you have any metrics involved? Because once you go through a transformation, how did you see how you were tracking in terms of as part of that transformation?
Our service desk numbers, they're always a good metric. We're seeing a drop in just little, I can't do this, or I want to be able to install this application, etc. So we're seeing a little drop there. And just the satisfaction scores seem to be going up as well.
Okay. That's very, very cool. And how are you tracking to date now? Like, how long has this process been for you so far?
So I started the Windows 10 move at Auckland Council in 2015, around November.
Yeah.
We've got about 10,000 end users, and we're over probably 70% done. So we've got a wee way to go, and we've got a year to do it. So I'm pretty keen to make that Windows 7 end of life date.
Yeah.
Very keen to kind of be done well before Christmas this year.
Yeah.
And but I think we're tracking quite well, and I'm hoping to achieve that.
Yeah, and so obviously, when it comes to adoption, a lot of people are saying that a lot of it has to be driven from as executive leadership. And did you find a sponsor in driving this transformation that came outside of IT?
I guess having the support of, one of the things I did early was I got people in HR. I talked to them about their experience, got them to help me with developing the Windows 10 experience for them, and so they became fans of, I guess, what we were doing, and were very vocal in saying, "Hey, this is great." But we definitely do have sponsorship outside of IT. In terms of pushing forward with what we're doing. Okay.
And was training a big part of this too?
The good thing with going from Windows 7 to Windows 10, and this is really just my opinion, is that it's not such a drastic change as, say, other operating systems. Mm-hmm. And because a lot of people were using these Windows 10 at home, mm-hmm. and trying to push for a more consumer experience over a lockdown enterprise experience.
Yeah.
We're more comfortable with being able to use their new environment as opposed to their old one. So in a way, the training kind of wasn't as heavy as you would traditionally have it in past projects.
Yeah, because it was a little bit more intuitive in terms of the transition between 7 to 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
And use at home, and things like using Windows Autopilot to deploy our laptops, our devices. Mm-hmm. The users have that experience when they buy their devices at home and control certain screens in Windows Autopilot. We can make that experience what we want it to be, but also comfortable for the user as well.
Okay, interesting. Well, especially when it comes to, migration and transitioning from 7 to Windows 10, I mean, that is sort of like a one and done thing, right? Is there anything else that you're needing to do on an ongoing basis to help your users get the most out of Windows 10?
I guess from my point of view, being someone who looks after these environments, we definitely leverage the Windows Inside of a Business program and Windows Analytics, because with the as a service model Windows 10 brings, not only does those tools, Windows Analytics helps a lot with the 7 to 10 migration. So helps with your continual Windows as a service, keeping current. Okay. So definitely the Windows Inside of a Business program that is the foundation of our continual improvement program with our applications, and it helps organization. We've identified our critical applications, and we can test against insider builds to make sure that we're going to be stable. So we've got a high degree of confidence every time a Windows 10 release is done twice a year that we're going to be okay with those releases.
Okay, so it sounds like you had a conversation with Donna Sakar about the Windows Inside of her Business program and how to implement that internally within an organization. So can you tell us, if you know of other organizations who are doing similar things and what benefits that they've experienced?
I can talk about there's a person I spoke with at Microsoft Ignite, Eddie Leonard. There's First Citizens Bank in North Carolina. Okay. Definitely, Eddie is one of the leading lights of the Inside of a Business program as well.
Yeah.
So I definitely know those guys are doing it. Donna does have a lofty goal of 100% of the Fortune 500 companies being on the Inside of a Business program.
Yeah.
I believe that's definitely attainable. So a lot of us who are doing this Windows Inside of a Business program, we definitely believe in it because in many ways it makes our life easier.
Yeah.
But, a lot of us believe in it, that we're happy to promote the program.
Okay, awesome. And if people wanted to learn more about this program, how would they do that?
Definitely. Well, there is the insider.windows.com, I believe the website is, and they can search in there for Windows Inside of the Business. There are Donna Sakar is on Twitter. She's very active, and just follow her for a start. You'll just reach out to her and say, hey, my organization wants to do that. And I'm sure she will, make sure you have all the information you need. There were presentations done at Ignite with slides on information. So even if you just fast forward right to the end of the presentation, just to get the slide with all the information, do that. It's a fantastic program, and it definitely will help organizations.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much for spending the time to chat with me, Paul. I'm sure we'll continue the conversation on all things modern workplace on Twitter. I haven't established a hashtag, which seems to be a bit of a mistake on my end, but we'll figure one out in the meantime. But I'm having lots of other conversations with different people in the community about modern workplace. I'm really glad to talk to you about Windows very specifically. I think it sounded like you're having a really great success with what you're doing at Auckland Council, and it sounds like your end users are really benefiting from, the ease of use and how easy it was to transition, from Windows 7 to Windows 10. And I'm really excited to hear about all the great stuff you've been doing with the Windows Insider program for business. So hopefully we'll get a chance to catch up on that maybe at Ignite in Orlando coming up in November 2019. Fingers crossed on that. But yeah, let's continue the conversation. And if there's anything else, you can always message Paul through Twitter.
Awesome. No.
Cool. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you in a little bit. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. See ya.